Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, May 23rd, and I decided to do a quick little afternoon lunchtime podcast on how to be thorough because people ask me all the time, and I like read emails, or I'm on Facebook and I see people asking a ton of questions. And I just said, you know what? I jotted down 5 points that I think will help people be more thorough. And when you're more thorough, you'll get ahead a lot faster. So I'm gonna try to do this in under 10 minutes. As usual, I'll be lucky if I can do it under 5, but I'll try. My number one point to being thorough, and this is number one, has 2 points. One is pride, and the other is feelings. What I've noticed, a lot of people who have a lot of pride when it comes to working is that they think that they're too good to do the more trivial work, or the entry level work, or the bottom level work. And I have a degree, I went to college, I shouldn't have to do this. But to me, I think that if you don't have any experience doing something, what makes you think that you should be the boss? Like, if you've never done it, why should you be promoted? Or why should you, just because you have a degree but you have no experience? So you have to, like, the internships, the entry level things. The bottom is where you see and learn how everything is done. You cannot be an efficient or superb leader if you don't now know how to do every single step of the business. So I would take advantage of being in the mailroom, reading everything that comes in, learning names. That's what's going to give you everything you need to really be thorough. Like, if you're in the mailroom, you get to see who's delivering what. You also get to make the relationships with the delivery people, with whoever. And that's really how you're going to win in the long run. Is that, let's just say you're in a crunch and you really need to make something happen, and every single delivery place is closed. But if you have a relationship with Marcus over at such and such, and he can come pick it up for you, like, that's what's going to always put you ahead of everybody else. So when it comes to being thorough, you need those relationships, and the only way to get them is by being on the bottom. And you make better decisions when you've seen everything from the bottom, because you're going to see everything go right and you're going to see everything go wrong. Now, let's just say that's 1A. 1B is feelings, and this is mainly for women. I've worked with a lot of women, and I noticed that it's like, they can't be thorough because they're in their feelings, because so and so doesn't like them, or they don't think someone likes them. It's like they don't even know if someone likes them or not, but you assume someone doesn't like you, or your feelings about your supposed competition. Like, a lot of this stuff you've made up in your head. Most people who are really, like they say, riding around and getting it, are not thinking about you. So you literally are limiting yourself because you've convinced yourself that somebody doesn't like you, or you don't like somebody. It's like, who cares? I've done a lot of business with people that I'm not in love with. It's just, we're not dating, we're in business. And the sooner you can get out of your feelings, the better off things are going to be. Number two is being resourceful. For the most part, most people are lazy. You'd rather just ask someone how to do something as opposed to finding it out yourself. So it's like, I always say, ask me last. Ask me after you have Googled, asked Jeeves, you've done every single thing. And if you really can't figure it out, then you ask. But, find out what you can do before you just ask how to do something. Read. A lot of times, if you just do recreational reading, you'll get a lot of your life answers just in, if you have an iPad, get the Flipboard app. But if you're at work, if you go into work, and if you don't want to surf on the company time or at your lunch hour, read, like, a big newspaper in New York Times, LA Times, scan CNN, even scan TMZ. Like, there's so much stuff that you can learn by just taking a couple minutes out of your day to read. Ask questions. Ask questions before it's critical. So if you don't understand something, ask the question early, as opposed to waiting till things have gone absolutely crazy and now you want to ask me, like, when you could have asked. If you didn't understand in the beginning, say you don't understand in the beginning. Be social. A lot of times, if you're social, you could reach out to one of your instant messenger contacts and ask them a quick question before you ask your boss. If you're a social person and you have a lot of relationships, your friends or your network won't mind as much as your superior, so take advantage of your network. Number three, which should be like number one or zero, is having a sense of urgency. Um, Nothing, no, nothing grates my nerves more than having to wait a long time for a simple answer. Um, if you, with all the access that people have, and they can reach you on your email, if you are available, when someone asks you something, you will get ahead by being the first to respond. If you're up against someone in the same job or in the same field, just being the person that always gets back, puts you at an advantage. And what some people, I've noticed a huge mistake that a lot of people make, is that they don't respond because they don't have the answer, or they don't know, or they need more time. And the best thing you can do if you need more time is say you need more time. When I first graduated and I had my first full-time job out of college at this PR firm, and it's like my boss would just inundate me. I mean, like, I had 75 tasks to do already, and then she would instant message me, and then she'd call me sometimes, and then she'd send me emails, and just constantly piling things up just to stay in her good graces and make sure that I was on top of everything. I'd say, okay, I can absolutely do it, but how soon do you need this? Is this something that you need today, or is it something that you need by Friday or next week? Just ask the question. A lot of times, people who are on the move, they'll just shoot you a note, and they really don't need it that day. It's just they want to they want to let you know before they forget. So, ask them, is this, how important is this to you? How urgent is this to you? Is this something that you need right now, or is it something that you can get tomorrow, or you can get next week? Um, and number four is accountability. Grow up, be responsible. If you mess up, say you messed up. People, we're human, so you're never going to not mess up. So when you mess up, you like, you know what? That was actually my mistake, and this is the solution. This is how I intend to correct it. Just like in any relationship, like, there's nothing like admitting that you're wrong and having a solution for the mistake. Honey, I'm sorry, and this is how I plan on fixing it. That'll save your life, and people have more respect for you, as opposed to trying to cover it up, pretend that it didn't happen. It's just, you messed up, own it. Number five, and this is my last one, is, and this is so important, is be decisive. Stop being afraid to make a choice. People, you're so afraid to mess up that you don't want to pull the trigger on something, so you kind of just linger, and everybody's just moving past you, because it's like, what do they say, you miss 100% of the shots you never take. So while you're standing there pondering what you should do, everybody else is taking shots, and guess what? Everybody else is, if they're not making half, then maybe they're making 20%, and that's still more than you. So stop being so afraid to make a decision about, what, anything. So, and being decisive also means, like, not always waiting to be told what to do. Make a decision. You're not going to get them all right. The more decisions you make, the better decision maker you become. So, those were my quick 5 tips on how to become a little bit more thorough, and really just put yourself ahead of the game. Hope that helped. Bye.